Well, howdy there, Internet students. It's Mr. Hermanson again. So we're going to spend one more day on the exponent rules. It seems like some of you are a little bit confused, so I made this worksheet for that. Now, all the answers are on the answer grid, which is the third page of this worksheet. So you should be able to find the answers there. And what I'm going to do is one problem in each row, so at least you'll get those answers right when you do the Google form. The first property is the negative exponent and zero exponent property. So any number to the zero power, so let's write it like this. Any number to the zero power always equals 1, except for 0. 0 to the 0 is not equal to 1, but any other number to the 0 power is 1. Here's a quick example. 5 to the 0 will equal 1. Any number to the 0 will equal 1. All right, and then the other property here is the negative powers. Here's how you deal with negative powers. So let's say you have some number with a negative power on it. All you do is flip that. So 1 over a, and then it has a positive power. And since the numerator is 1, and 1 to any power is just 1, you're going to get just 1 over a. All right, so I'm going to pick one of these to do with you. I think I will do number 4 for you. Let's split this up. We have a 5. X to the 0 is just 1, so let's put 1 there. And then we have y to the negative first. Let's write that as a fraction. Okay. Now we're going to flip it. 5 times 1 is just 5, right? Since we have a fraction going on, let's put 5 over 1. And we're going to flip this. And now it's a positive power of 1. And so we have 5 times 1 on top, because 1 to the first is just 1, which is 5. And on the bottom, we have y to the first also. And 1 times y is just y. So the answer to that one is 5y. Now, when you look in your grid here, 5 over y is right there. It would be B6. So you're going to answer for number 4 on the Google form, B6. All right. The next property is product of powers property. That would be something like this. If you have some number to a power, and then the same base multiplied by that to a different power. So basically what we're saying here is you have n factors of a there, you have m factors of a there. What you need to do is count up the total number of factors. So just add them together. Okay? Now don't ever be afraid to write the numbers in expanded form. So I'm going to do I'll do number 7 for you here. So I'm going to do 2 times negative 4. I'm going to put those together since multiplication doesn't really matter. Make sure you don't do anything with the powers right now though, because powers have to come first. So we have x to the 7th times x to the 9th times x to the 5th. Okay. Now this property is saying just add up the exponents if the base is the same. So I got a 7 and a 9 and a 5 that I need to add up. That's 21 factors of x. And then I just have 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. Okay? On your Google form, negative 8x to the 21st is number, there it is. It looks like A5. Okay, so make sure you answer A5 for that one. All right, the next property is the quotient properties, and that looks like this. if you have some base to some power, and you divide by that same base to some other power, what you want to do is cancel all the common powers. So take away the number of powers of m from n, subtract the powers. Okay? I think I'll slip on down here and do number 12 for you there. And so what I'm going to do is, first of all, we have a positive number on top, a negative on the bottom. So this is going to be a negative answer. So let's just make note of that, negative answer. All right, and on top, for sure I have 9. I have nothing to divide that from, but I'm going to subtract the 10 and the 5. That's what this product quotient power property is saying. And 10 minus 5 is 5. That's a positive 5, so I'm going to put that there. And then the y, for the y's, I'm going to do 3 minus 3. Well, 3 minus 3 is 0. And anything to the 0 is just 1, so basically those cancel each other out. And I got rid of all the x's in the bottom. I canceled 5 with these 10 factors of x here. So on the bottom is just a 1, so I can just write this answer as negative 9x to the 5th. And on your Google form, negative 9x to the 5th should be right there, B3. All right. On the next set, we're going to do power of a power property. So that's something like this where you have and something written in exponential notation, and then you raise that to a different power. And when you do that, you want to multiply the powers together n times m. Okay? So here we have x to the 3rd. Actually, that one's pretty easy. Let's do a different one. Let's do this one here. So in the first part, I have 16 times x to the 3rd times y. Remember, that's y to the 1st when it's just y. The second part, I need to raise x to the 2nd to the negative 2nd power. So what I'm going to do is just multiply those like this says. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. All right, now I can use another property here to combine these x's. If you have the same base, you can just add the powers together. So I get x to the negative 1st, and then y to the 1st is just y. Now, we don't want any negative exponents in our answer, so I'm going to do the flipping thing here. Change that to a fraction since we're going to have a fraction. 1 over x to the positive 1st, and then y over 1. And so on top, I get 6 times 1 times y, which is 6y. On the bottom, I have 1 times x times 1, which is just x. So 6y over x is the answer. And that would be A2. This is just a misprint there. Don't worry about that. This next set, I'm going to do power of a product property. And what that's saying is that, let's say you have, I don't know, some things multiplied together, like I have 3 things multiplied together, and I'm going to raise them to some power. You have to raise, because you're multiplying this by itself n times, you're going to have n factors of A, n factors of B, and n factors of C when you're all done. So basically you're distributing that n. So let's do number 19 here for you. So I need to raise everything inside here to the negative 2nd power. So I'm going to do the first negative 2 to the negative 2nd. And then I'm going to do the x to the 10th to to the negative second. When you raise a power to a power, you multiply them, so that's going to be negative 20. Okay, I have some negative powers here, so I better, let's make these into fractions so I can flip them. Okay, and I'm going to flip them to make it a positive power. So when I flip negative 2 over 1, I get negative 1 over 2 squared. And 1 over x, that's going to be to the positive 20th. You know 1 to the 20th is just 1, so let's just put that 20 there on the bottom. And negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 is positive 1/4. So we have 1 over 4x to the 20th here. All right, let's look for that one. There it is, it's C6. All right. Okay. One more property to go over here. That's the power of a quotient. That's just like the last one. Let's say we have some fraction a over b, and we're going to raise that to some power. Well, since you're going to be multiplying this fraction a over b by itself n times, you'll have n factors of a in the numerator and n factors of b in the denominator. All right, so let's do number 24. That looks like a really hard one, so we'll get that out of the way for you. First of all, in the top, I'm going to just simplify it a little bit here, this part. I'm going to do negative 2x times negative 2x is positive 4x to the second. And then I have 3xy squared in the bottom. And I need to do that to the third power. All right? Okay, now remember you could expand this out 3 times and that would show you that you're going to have 4 times 4 times 4. And you're going to have x squared multiplied by itself 3 times. I'm just going to distribute this power. So I'm going to get 4 to the third. I'm going to get x squared to the third, which is x to the sixth. On the bottom, I'm going to have 3 to the third. And I'm going to have this x right here to the third. And this y squared to the third, which is y to the sixth. Okay. Now I'm going to make this a normal number. That's 64. And I'm going to make 3 to the third a normal number. That's 27. I have x to the sixth on top, x to the third on bottom. We subtract the powers in that case. That makes x to the third. And then on the bottom, there's nothing to cancel those y with, so we're going to be stuck with y to the sixth down there. All right, so we're looking for something like that, 64 over 27. And that's right there. That would be B5. All right, so you got a couple free answers, so you should get those right. And you can try some of the other ones. Don't be afraid to message me during school hours if you need some help. All right, good luck with that. We'll talk to you soon.